Welcome and thank you for standing by. At this time, all participants are in a listen-only mode. Today's conference is being recorded. If you have any objections, you may disconnect at this time. During the Q&A session, you may press star 1 to enter the question queue. Please stand by. The call will begin momentarily.
And good morning, everyone. This is Steve Seislaw from NASA Communications. We are discussing today the Crew-7 splashdown that occurred at 5:47 and 44 seconds this morning off the coast of Pensacola. We have with us today Steve Stich, Program Manager of NASA's Commercial Crew Program. We have Jeff Arend, Manager for Systems Engineering and Integration for NASA's International Space Station Office. We have Benji Reed, Senior Director of Human Spaceflight Programs for SpaceX. We have Eric Vanderwall, Houston Office Team Leader for the European Space Agency. And we have Hiroshi Sasaki, Vice President for Human Spaceflight and Exploration from the Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency. We'll start off with Steve Stich. Over to you, Steve.
Thank you, Steve, and thanks for your interest this morning in the landing for the Crew-7 mission. Overall, it's been a pretty busy couple of days. You know, undocking yesterday at about 10:15 Central. Dragon Endurance did a great job with the undocking sequence, and then the crew had some off-duty time. And then, of course, today they got suited up for the deorbit burn and the entry. I'd like to welcome Jasmine, Andy, Satoshi, and Costa back. They did get out of the vehicle about a few minutes ago, so they're all out on the ship. They'll be going through some medical checks and then flying back to Houston later this morning. So it's exciting to have them back after a great mission on Crew-7. Let's see, the weather was spectacular today, not only at the landing site, but across the U.S. A lot of the U.S. got to see Dragon Endurance fly over the country, and I've seen some nice videos posted of the return. The weather at landing was maybe 2 knots of wind and 1 foot seas, and so if you watched it all, the recovery was just very smooth. SpaceX did a wonderful job getting the Dragon out of the water and back onto the ship within less than half hour, which was fantastic. The vehicle did great all the way from undock to landing. Not really any issues to report. We are in the process of SpaceX is in the process of recovering all the Dragon parachutes. The drogues performed nominally, came out just fine. Didn't see any snivel or anything like that. The mains deployed well. The energy modulators did their function. Of course, we'll have to recover those. I think they were already probably recovered out of the water. We'll take a look at those later on. We talked about that a lot during our FRR process for Crew-8. And then, I would say one of the mains was maybe a tiny bit sluggish to inflate, but well within what we've seen in the past. We'll have to go review all the data for the parachutes like we always do for each flight. Other than that, the vehicle's doing well, the crew's doing well, and obviously Crew-8 continues to do well on orbit. Exciting to have Endeavour there, and I know Matt, Michael, Jeanette, and Alexander are settling into their time on station and doing a great job there. I'd like to thank our entire team for just a phenomenal job on Crew-7, the NASA, SpaceX team, our international partners, JAXA, Roscosmos, and ESA. Great mission, and I'll turn it over to Jeff Arend from ISS.
And next up, we have Jeff Arend from the International Space Station program.
Can you hear me?
We have you, Jeff.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, as I said, it's great to see Crew-7 back on Earth after a successful mission aboard the International Space Station. And as Steve Stich said, the landing splashdown looked terrific. The seas, I don't think, could have been any calmer, so it was awesome. As far as Crew-7 goes, this was our first fully international crew that flew aboard Dragon. Each seat represented a different country that works together to keep Space Station the incredible research laboratory it is and has been for 20 years. The total mission duration was 199 days. 197 days was on ISS. They completed 3,184 orbits of Earth and traveled over 84 million miles, statute miles. So quite the trip. During their time on ISS, they saw the arrival of 7 visiting vehicles, a couple SpaceX cargo Dragons, both SpaceX 28 and 29, 2 Russian resupply vehicles, 86 and 87P, and of course the crewed missions X3 and Crew-8, and also a Northrop Grumman Cygnus vehicle, NG-20. During their stay, most of those vehicles departed, but basically the total is about the same. Is kind of how I'd leave it. During their time on Space Station, Crew-7 contributed to hundreds of science and research investigations, including the first robotic surgery demonstration from the ground just a couple of weeks ago. Ahead of Crew-7's departure, we had a change of command ceremony to take place that took place on Sunday, where Andy Mogensen of ESA handed over command of Space Station to Oleg Konyenko. And as you know, Crew-8 arrived to Space Station at 2:28 Eastern Time on March 5th, and we completed handover with the Crew-7 just before departure. So everything is going well so far for Crew-8 as they get into the swing of things in microgravity. takes a lot of hard work, coordination, and partnership to get to this point, and I want to thank all who helped support these missions and enable them to happen. In summary, the entire International Space Station team is happy to see Crew-7 back on Earth, and we're looking forward to seeing them in person soon to congratulate them on their successful mission. And with that, I will hand it back to Steve.
Thank you, Jeff. And a note to reporters real quick, *1 to enter the question queue. So for the reporters out there, *1 gets you into the question queue. And we will go now to Benji Reed at SpaceX. Benji?
Hi, good morning. Quick concept, can you hear me?
We have you, Benji.
Excellent, great. Hey, well, good morning. It's always great to be on the line and be part of this outstanding program that is the International Space Station and NASA's efforts in exploration and maintaining a human presence in LEO. We are always honored to be a part of it. And what a year it's been so far already. First and foremost, welcome back to Jasmine, Andreas, Satoshi, and Konstantin. Welcome back to Earth and welcome back to your families. It's an honor to have been able to provide the transportation for the crew and to get them back. Our splashdown today completed the fourth Dragon flight, either launch or landing of the year so far. We have launched and returned Axiom 3 to and from the International Space Station earlier this year, and then we had the launch of Crew-8 just a little over a week ago. So it's keeping everybody busy. It's been going really well. This mission actually completes our 8th NASA human spaceflight mission to the ISS, and the 11th mission overall, when you add in the Axiom missions that we've done as well. Capsule 210, which is the capsule that the crew returned to today, has now completed 3 long-duration missions. And that means it's been in space for longer than any crew-rated vehicle in history, at 534 days, which is actually longer than the longest space shuttle flight, which was the Space Shuttle Discovery that had 365 days. The Capsule 206, which is on orbit right now, which launched again just a little over a week ago, has 476 days and counting. So we're looking forward to having another capsule probably overtake that record for longest duration time for a crew-rated vehicle. Truly, the Dragons are a workhorse in the industry. We had a nominal return today. Dragon is healthy, and the parachutes performed as expected. The crew, as Steve mentioned, is on their way home, and the recovery teams are transporting Dragon back to our refurbishment facility at Cape Canaveral in Florida. As always, we are very thankful for the opportunity to fly crew safely to orbit and to be part of these great programs, these great endeavors. Safe and reliable crew transportation is the most important thing that we do. It's part of our goal of making life multiplanetary and part of serving all of the needs of our customers, especially NASA. And thank you to NASA and ESA and JAXA and Roscosmos for your trust, your partnership, and your close collaboration on this mission and all of the missions. Thank you. Back over to you, Steve.
Thank you, sir. Next, we're going to go over to Eric Vander Wal from European Space Agency. Eric?
Yes, good morning. I think it's so great to see Andy and his crewmates back on Earth. For Andy, this was his second flight to the ISS, which we ESA referred to as the ESA Huygens mission. I really want to thank NASA, SpaceX, the ESA teams, and the other ISS partners who all worked diligently to make this mission safe and, foremost, also successful. More than 30 European experiments were executed during Andy's long-duration stay. Andy also was the first non-US pilot of the Crew Dragon, And of course, as was referred to before, he was also part of his stay ISS commander. For ESA, this is the 5th flight of an ESA astronaut on Crew Dragon. We started with Crew-2, which was followed by Crew-3, 4, Axiom 3, and the completion of Crew-7. Earlier this year, Europe had even 2 ESA astronauts on the ISS during the Axiom 3 mission with our Scandinavian duo, Andy and Marcus. This is really a great display of Europe's determination to maximize the presence of European astronauts in LEO, and of course looking forward also beyond LEO. Again, I would like to thank all the teams for this safe return and turn it over back to you, Steve. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And next we have Hiroshi Sasaki from the Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency.
Okay, thank you for the introduction. Good morning. First of all, on behalf of JAXA, I'd like to express my sincere gratitude to all the leadership of NASA, SpaceX, and their excellent teams who've been devoted to the missions. I really feel relieved to see the perfect return of the Crew Dragon that carried Jasmine, Andreas, Konstantin, and Satoshi safely. Satoshi has accomplished his second long-duration mission, and his total stay in space is now over 1 year. He carried out the mission under the 3 pillars, which are conducting numerous scientific experiments using the keyboard's unique microgravity environment, technological demonstrations for the future international space exploration, and encouraging private sectors to participate in space activities. In addition, he conducted various outreach events connecting the ISS and ground, including to implement space experiments proposed by high school students, both from Japan and overseas, that contribute to education for next generation and to the Sustainable Development Goals. We would like to pass on Satoshi's achievement to other Japanese astronauts, especially to Kimiya and Takuya, who are about to embark on their mission, and to astronaut candidates. We want to share with you again our recent successful in launching the H3 rocket, which is Japan's new flagship rocket. The Japan's new flagship rocket brings us a significant progress toward HTV-X, a new supply vehicle for the ISS program and Gateway program under development. As you may know, SLIM, our pinpoint landing on the moon, was also successful. We will contribute not only current programs like the ISS and Gateway, but also future programs such as post-ISS Artemis missions through close collaborations with international and commercial partners. I'm confident that we will continue to take a leading role in this human endeavor by making the best use of our expertise and expand the research and commercial activities in the low Earth orbit and further broaden the capability of the space explorations. Once again, congratulations on the successful recovery. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We're going to go to media questions now. A reminder to reporters that *1 gets you into the question queue this morning. And our first question goes to Stephen Young at Spaceflight Now.
Thank you, Steve. A question for Steve Stich and maybe Benji as well. The recovery this morning was very smooth in terms of the time it took to get the vehicle out of the water and the crew on board the vessel, and wondering what you attribute that to, whether you can refine that process anymore. And also for Benji, can you give us an update on the Polaris Dawn mission and the preparations of the Dragon for that?
I'll take the first question and let Benji add whatever he would like to and talk Polaris Dawn. SpaceX team did a great job of getting the Dragon capsule out of the water back onto the ship. They continue to get better and better, I think, the more missions they do. And then today it was really favorable weather as well. I think, the sea states were maybe 1 foot seas, and it was very, very calm water, so maybe that was a factor. But kudos to the whole recovery team. Did a phenomenal job getting Dragon out of the water and on the ship. And I'll turn it over to you, Benji.
Thank you, Steve. Definitely the team did a great job, and really I think it was a very nominal recovery, including the egress of the crew from the capsule. So we're very happy for that. In terms of Polaris Dawn, we're targeting this summer for the launch, and it's exciting to see actually that process going through as the crew continue to train for that. We continue to put all of our hardware, including the EVA suits, through qualification testing and wrapping up all of the testing and preparation. So looking forward to that mission as well.
Thank you, Benji. Looks like we're going to have a pretty short call this morning. There are no further questions on the line. So we will go ahead and wrap it up again, concluding Crew-7 this morning at 5:47 and 44 seconds a.m. I want to thank all of our speakers, and we will talk to you next time. Thank you so much.